Welcome to the Limitless Potential podcast, where together we will dive into the personal, business, and career-rich tips, techniques, stories, and experiences of some incredibly successful and inspirational people, each with their own perspectives and journeys, and each with golden nuggets of wisdom which might just change your life. I'm Tracy Stone, and I'm a master trainer in a number of career supercharging techniques, a transformational coach, international best-selling author, inspirational speaker, and a woman discovering and evolving my very own limitless potential day by day.
Determined. I went to yoga and one
You're going to stand up at your stage.
Celebrate yourself.
Spiritual things the very second I met her.
And so once a week, each of you take
Now, I love that message. I see this happening many times again. Again, I see it in a positive way.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Limitless Potential. Today, I'm delighted to welcome the lovely Janine Newberry, presenter and mindset coach, and she's joining us today from London. Janine is a radio presenter and creator of the Eat, Love, Do show on WRS, that's Women's Radio Station. WRS is an award-winning charity radio station, and one of the ways Janine gives back by interviewing experts that she hand selects who are making a positive impact in the world and striving to make other people's lives better. And these people are the kind of people who share their knowledge with her audience and make an impact. Janine also works with people to clear out their programming, which they're often unaware has been holding them back. This can show up as money blocks, financial lack, relationship issues, imposter syndrome, low confidence, and various emotional or business blocks. She first graced our screens in the late 90s as the late night clubbing queen and presenter of ITV's Club Vision, interviewing the hottest pop bands, DJs, music artists, and legends. We need to hear more about that. Who has over 20 years experience in health, fitness, and mindset coaching, is the founder of Eat, Love, Do, an educational platform to feature online courses and in-person events, workshops, interesting articles, and knowledge sharing, whose mission is to inspire and educate people to live and create their best lifestyle, body, relationship, career, and ultimately live the healthiest, happiest version of themselves. And the lovely Janine is here with us today to talk about her journey and how she taps into her very own limitless potential. Welcome, Janine. Thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on, Tracy. It's an honour. Thank you very much.
Well, I can't wait to hear all about you, because even just reading through your bio, I just have so much I want to know. So let's get cracking.
All lies, all lies.
Then embellish the lies, embrace. So look, let's go back to the beginning. Tell us a little bit about you growing up, what life was like, and then just let's make our way into the magic of you.
I grew up in Bradford in Yorkshire, which is the north of England, in case anyone doesn't know where that is. It's near Leeds.
I lived in Leeds for 2.5 years.
But did you?
I did.
Oh, yes. It's really nice. It's freezing up there, but cold place, but warm people, I say, up north. Like really friendly, down to earth. So I grew up there. I was actually adopted into the Newberrys, which were a lovely family. So I felt very blessed. So I got adopted into a lovely family. And we were working class, very humble. We didn't have much, but what we had was each other, and we loved each other. And I think that really kind of set me up with a good foundation in life. Because I think when we didn't have much. So I actually run my first business when I was 8. 8, yeah. I set up a car cleaning business. I think I was always like a little entrepreneur, and because we didn't have much, and I didn't want to ask my parents for it because I could see the struggle. I decided I was going to make my own money, so I didn't have to ask my parents for money, and that's what kind of set off my entrepreneurial journey in a way. So I'm really thankful that I had that upbringing, and I think when you come from nothing, you have to learn like those kind of social and life skills very quickly, which then when you apply that later in life as an adult, if you've been doing it your whole life, it kind of sets you up, I think. Well, that's my personal thing. And I think, yeah, my first business was a car cleaning business, and I enrolled the guys on the street who were bigger than me and older, and I'd go around the houses, knock on the door, and ask people if they wanted the car washing. And then I price up the cars depending on the size. So I think the smaller cars were like 50p, medium £1, and bigger ones £1.50. Then I get the guys to wash them.
Oh, you are just a superstar from the get-go.
Side employees. but yeah,
plans.
Yeah, it was just a way just to get pocket money for more sweets, really. So that was it. So I guess I was a little bit of an entrepreneur. And then, and I remember I had a paper round and everything. And I worked out that if you put 2 paper rounds in one bag that was next to each other, you could get paid double, but did the same amount of papers as the other people. So I was always a little bit of an entrepreneur, wheeler dealer, looking for a different angle and a different way of seeing things. And I guess that sort of set me up to thinking, well, if you want something, you can just go and create it and make it happen. Find out what you want to do, and then find a way to make it happen and make it work. So that's just the way my mind's worked, and that's really stood me well going in being an adult, really. So thanks, Mum and Dad, for that. Give them full credit. And I decided I wanted to be a model. Yeah, so in Bradford, nobody was model. And then I remember at school, we had a meeting with careers. You had a careers teacher that came in as a special person that came in and asked us what we wanted to do. And basically they were asking us, because they used to do a 2-week work experience at school. I don't know if they still do that these days, but 30 something years ago they used to. And I remember telling the careers advisor that I wanted to be a model. And they're like, well, you can't do that. You can't be a model in Bradford. And I was just told that you can't do that. And I had to do a 2-week work experience in a bank, and it was Midland Bank back then, which is now HSBC. And I remember I went and did it. It was in Keighley, because that was like the one that they could place me in. And they offered me a job. They actually offered me a job at the end of the 2 weeks at the bank. And I just looked at them and said, no, thanks very much. This is not what I want to do. And I think most people, and my parents have thought, that's a really good job, you should do that. And it's kind of that mindset. And I was like, no, I want to be a model. And I left. I remember I picked up a Yellow Pages, and I went through it, and I found a model agency, and there's one in Leeds. So I joined that, and I used to travel to Leeds. And then I found out there's one in Halifax or Huddersfield, and then one in Manchester. So I eventually joined the one in Manchester, and I used to drive there and do their like training, so to learn how to walk and do the catwalk and pictures and all that kind of stuff. And then I'd drive back, and I just kept doing that. And I, at the time, was working for a car firm. I was running the admin department for a car firm in Bradford, and I left to become a model and went up and did it. And my parents were like, you can't do that. That's not a real job. And I was like, well, if it doesn't work, I can come back and just get a job again like I had before. And I think so many times in life we get told you can't do something. But I think you've got to remember, when someone around you is telling you can't do something, and it's generally the people that love you, and they're doing it because they love you and care about you. They're telling you can't do it because their vision of the world doesn't support your vision. If you can see something and what you want and desire for yourself, you have to believe in yourself enough and go for it, and just see if it, try and make it work. And if it doesn't, well, at least you tried. But if if people are telling you can't do it, just remember, of course they can't see it because it's not their vision. Your vision isn't their vision, and they're not wrong for not being able to see it. But you just need to stay like in your lane and just go for it. If it doesn't work, then so what? You can just go try something else. And I think that's always been sort of my mindset, really.
I think that is so important. I love that. And that message is so vital. Their vision was different to your vision. Your vision was different to their vision. And it doesn't have to fit. No. And you don't have to then acquiesce and go with what other people say. And they mean well, as you say, but their vision is different to yours.
And I think when you've got a big dream, don't tell it. There's that saying, when you've got a big dream, don't tell it to small-minded people. But it's not necessarily that they're small-minded, but just that their visions might be smaller than yours. You might be a big vision person. And I'm sure people that are listening to this, it's like unlimited, unlimited potential. The kind of people that are listening to this, you want an unlimited world. You want that potential. So you are a big thinker. That's why you're watching and listening to this. So you're probably in the small percentage of the world that think like that. So just remember, when you've got a big dream and a big goal, don't share it with people whose visions are smaller, because they're going to try and make yours smaller, because that's all they understand. It's like they're here and you're here, and they're trying to get you to be where they're at, because that's what they understand and where they feel comfortable. They're trying to get you into their comfort zone. So I think if you want to succeed at life, you've just got to kind of stay in your comfort zone, which is here, and understand people are in smaller comfort zones. And that's cool. They're not wrong for that. That's great. Support them in being and doing what they want to do in their life. If that's where their happy place is, awesome. If your happy place is here, then only share that vision with other people that are at the same level, or on the same road and path, if you like, of the same big visions, because then you've got the same energy and you'll create together. But if people around you are saying, oh, I think a favourite phrase is, oh, the problem with that is,
Yeah.
there's so many people use that. It's like such a societal like phrase that people use. As soon as I hear that, I'm like, yep. The problem with that is, oh, that'll never work, because they've never done it themselves. They're not doing it.
Or the problem with you is.
Yeah. And it's like, as soon as you hear that, just switch off. I always say that unless it's someone who's actually in the arena and putting themselves there and they're doing it, and they're actually creating what you want to create, and they're actually every day working on it, they have no right to give you their opinion on something that they don't really know anything about.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's got an opinion, haven't they? And I think that a lot of people don't succeed because they listen to other people around them, and it scares you, it puts you off, or you think, oh, well, they're telling me it's not possible, so it mustn't be. No. Stick with it, keep your focus. Unless someone's in that arena and they are actually walking their talk and they're trying to create what you're creating, or bigger, they've got a big vision, then you shouldn't even be looking to them for an opinion. Look at them to hang out with and like love them and, you know, all that stuff. That's lovely, but don't look for them. Don't allow their opinion and your vision to be what like sways you. You just got to keep your vision clear and keep your why you're doing it, and just, you know, keep on with it. And like, I sort of started off my life with all that and being able to do it, and then but sometimes you go through life where something comes along and it knocks you for six. Like I've had a lot of loss and grief, relationship issues, health issues, all kinds of stuff that have come in my life. And I went through a phase of when my mum got diagnosed with cancer when I was 32. So between 32 and 39, when she actually passed, I sort of slowly lost my motivation and my belief and my confidence. It sort of chips away because I was in grief. And sometimes we go through things in life that knock us. So I went from being someone who's like really gun-ho and positive, believed I could do anything, to suddenly not believing in myself. That imposter syndrome, self-sabotage, all that stuff started playing out. And I lost my mojo, if you like, because I had things that happened in my life that broke me. And I had to heal from that and repair from that. So if you're in that place in your life where you're going through that right now, just know it's okay. There's light at the end of that tunnel. And when we go through things like that, if you actually face it and find someone who can help you heal that and do like trauma or you know, deep subconscious work to help and support you to clear that out and heal from it, you'll actually come back stronger. You'll come back stronger than what you were originally. You'll get back to being yourself again, and you'll have the wisdom and the knowledge and the strength that comes through that healing. It's like you become limitless. Like you talk about limitless potential. If you want to become limitless, you have to work on the things that are holding you back and limiting you. So those limiting beliefs, if you work on them and clear those out, and they're subconscious, you don't even know you've got them half the time. I've just cleared out, I spent last year just clearing all mine out on all the grief and the pain and all the limiting beliefs. And I've been using this new technique, which is, it's a culmination of like many different modalities. And I mean, I've been learning this stuff for 20 odd years now. And I've got this new technique that I'm using with people, and within like an hour or so, we just clear it out. And I did it on myself, and I've cleared out the subconscious blocks. And you don't realize what an impact these blocks have on your life until you start clearing them out, and you become free again. And it has such, I mean, you know that you work with people like this, you do hypnosis and you have great results with the people you work with. I know that, Tracy, because you shared that with me. But you can't be limitless if you've got something that's limiting you. So you have to do that first. You have to do the deep, deep inner work. People call it, I don't know, trauma work or dark work, inner child work, whatever label you want to put on it. It's all the same stuff. It's all subconscious work. If you actually take that time to find someone to help you and hold you through that process and clear those things out. And if you've got money blocks in your life, like you haven't got the money in your account that you'd like, you're not earning the money, or you're getting it and you're spending it really quickly, that's all subconscious beliefs around money. If you're not in the right relationships, you keep attracting in the same toxic relationships over and over and over again. Different person, same energy, same scenario. Or you can't find a relationship and you think there's no good men or women out there. That's the subconscious stuff that needs clearing out. This is all clues that you've got stuff that you need clearing out. Or if you're procrastinating and not taking action, or you're learning, you're being a perpetual learner, like you're going maybe to seminar, reading all the books, doing all the courses, spending all the money, but you're not taking the action and you can't work out why. And you're thinking, well, I'm intelligent and I know how to do the stuff and I've got the skill and the talent to do it, but I'm not doing it. That's the difference that's going to make the difference. That's the deep subconscious stuff. That's the stuff that makes you limitless. And this is the work that I've been doing. And I didn't realize until I started doing it with myself and healed myself that it's actually trauma. It's actually deep, deep trauma that we've all got. And people, I think there's a misconception about what the word trauma means. Because when you think trauma, you think it's something big, like, something really traumatic in your life, and it feels traumatic, like, I don't know, losing a child or a big breakup or a rape or whatever it is, like something very traumatic, losing all your money. Yeah, that's a trauma. But a trauma can be something really small, like your parent telling you couldn't have a teddy bear when you were a kid, when you were 5 years old, and what you made up in the moment about that, or a teacher at school asking you to stand up and speak in front of the class and you felt embarrassed. That could create a trauma that is impacting you now as an adult. So if you can go back into that and clear that out and replace what you made up in that moment with supportive beliefs, and that actually changes the whole thing. It just changes the whole game for you. And all that subconscious like blocks that's been holding you back, it just goes.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is amazing. You're not fazed by anything anymore. It's liberating and free. And I get really passionate and excited by this because it's just like, oh my God. And people are like, I didn't even realize I was holding on to that my whole life. That's why I'm not being jinxed. And I'm like, these epiphany moments. And it's incredible. And I get very excited because it literally is life changing. You want to be limitless, clear out your limiting beliefs.
I'm totally with you. And I'm loving the passion that you talk about this stuff about, because I feel the exact same way, and it is the stuff I work with as well. Isn't it so interesting when so many people come to you, and you will as well have found they actually they want to keep the baggage. They don't want to let go of it because they feel that holding on to that old baggage protects them, but it doesn't.
Yeah. But that's what people understand is about the mind and the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind isn't there to make you successful, it's there to keep you safe. And that safety, that comfort zone, even though it's uncomfortable, it's a zone that you know, so it feels safe, even if it's painful and horrible and you could be in the worst place in your life. It's an uncomfortableness that you know, and something different is scary. And the subconscious thinks that if we change that and take this away, then what's coming could be more scary, so let's just keep this because we know this. It's like better the devil you know than the devil you don't kind of thing. But the irony is that if you cleared it away and just like opened up and let the new life come in, the new you, your best self shine again, then it's not scary, and there's more love and happiness and joy and abundance and everything else that you want in your life that will come as a result of it. And actually it frees you up. It takes you out of a prison. It's like a prison in a way. It's trying to keep you safe. It's not a bad thing as subconscious ego. It serves its purpose, and its purpose was in that moment when it was made up and formed, it was to keep you safe and protected.
And again, as you said, it could be from when you're a small child.
Exactly. So, but if you've got something now that's stopping you in relationships, like going for the relationship you want, or writing that book, or creating that business, or whatever it is that you're not doing, if it's a subconscious block, it's a block. Say it was made when you were 7 years old, that basically means that the 7-year-old version of you is stopping you from doing what you want to do now. But you're an adult now. You don't have the same fears and worries because you're an adult and your mind's formed. So what you made up when you were 7, you didn't understand the world and how things worked at 7. Of course not, you were a child. So you created a story about something and it's in your subconscious, and that's now like the computer software that's run the show of your life right now. And it's like, well, you can have a 7-year-old make your decisions for you. No, so let's clear them all out. And let's have adult you make your decisions and then watch you fly.
Janine, you're a breath of fresh air, and I feel like I'm hearing all the things that I talk to my lovely clients about as well.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I understand the incredible work that you do.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about how that works for you. Who do you work with, and what do you do with them?
Yeah, it was. I think my favourite people to work with are people that have either got things around relationships. So it could be that they've been hurt in relationships, or they've been in narcissistic relationships, because I've been through that myself. Or so I love helping people clear that and heal that, because then like having, loving yourself and having love in your life is, obviously what everybody really wants. We just want to be loved and be loved for who we are, and you can't be if you don't heal that part of yourself. So I love doing that work, but I also love doing like the money blocks and like and helping people like want to start up a business and just have enough money just to live and have financial freedom and success, because love and freedom are and health are like my 3 values. So anything that's linked to those I love to do. So if you're not, you don't need money to be happy, but a lack of money brings unhappiness and stress, and it can create illness, and that kind of stress and worrying about money, especially as we know, we've just gone through a pandemic, and I think that sort of not being able to work or be out there has really hit people hard. So I think people have sort of understood that, and it's been, I think it's exaggerated a lot of things that people have gone through, and it's brought a lot of their things and their blocks. So I've been doing a lot of work with people on that as well recently, which has been really nice, and just clearing out their blocks and that trauma that's been caused through that, or that's been revealed through what they've gone through, and then they've just suddenly become free. And I'd like one girl say to me, she said the best month financially she's had in her entire life, just from one session. I was like, you could have been doing that all along, but now you're going to be doing it like moving forward. Yeah. And you don't know what you don't know. So you don't know that these blocks are holding you back. And that's what I love. It's like, I guess I'm setting people free. That's what I love, because I was in a prison and I stopped myself moving forward and being all I could be. And I didn't realize I was doing it because it was deep subconscious stuff. So when I cleared out the stuff and healed myself, I just had this I could have been living like this all this time. I didn't even know. Yeah. But you don't know when you're in it.
You don't. You're too close to it.
Yeah, you're too close, and you can't see it because it's subconscious and you can't see it. It's really, really fascinating. I could talk about this stuff forever.
I can listen to it forever as well.
So I love doing that.
Let's come back into a little bit more of your journey. So tell us a little bit. So you started modeling.
Yes.
About that journey of how you've gotten into doing this incredible work that you were doing. It's been a journey. It doesn't happen overnight to be this wise, incredible woman that is leading people into their liberation from the baggage. So tell us a little bit more about that journey.
Yes, I became a model. I became a model quite late, actually, like my 20s, 2021, which is quite late in modelling years. I was practically a grandma in the modelling profession. Joking, but I'm not joking. Yes, I became a model, even though people told me I couldn't do it and it wasn't a real job. But I loved it. So I moved to Manchester, started modelling there, and I eventually came down to London in 1999. So I decided modelling was going really well and I was loving it and got some really big campaigns and it was great. Then I decided I wanted to be a TV presenter. And I remember speaking to some people there and saying, I want to get into TV, do presenting. And everyone's like, oh, you can't do that. It's going to take years to get through that. You've got to work up the ranks. And I was like, So they had all these limiting beliefs. And I remember they were filming at my friend's club in Manchester. It's called Devotion, their night in Manchester. and there was a film crew in there filming Clubber Vision, a show called Clubber Vision. And I just went up to, they interviewed me, I was one of the clubbers in the club. And I went up to the director, producer, and I said, if you ever want a new presenter, let me know, I can do this. And I just gave him my number, walked off, didn't think anything of it. And I thought, if you don't ask, you don't get. And then I got a phone call a month later saying, can you come to London and do an audition for the TV show? I'd never been to London before, I was from up north. And I was like, okay. So I got on the train, went down to London. And I remember I walked in this room and there's about 200 girls in there, brunette models, all absolutely stunning. And I'm just like northern and chatty, and I'm chatting to them. And I remember saying, oh, have you done TV before? And they were like, yes, I've done TV before. And they were a bit snooty, and they were like a little bit mean, like not like very friendly. And I instantly thought, well, I'm not going to get this because I've got no experience. I'm not even from London. I don't even live here. I don't work in this world. I've just started modelling like 6-8 months ago. So I thought, well, I'll just go in and do my bit, and I'll have a nice day in London, and I'll go back. So I went in, did the audition, and they sent us all a script to learn, which I thought was a bit boring, so I rewrote it. So I didn't speak that way. So I said it how I spoke. And they made us make something up just off the cuff. So I think I said something about, let's go on a roller coaster ride and crash the gates at Gatecrasher tonight, and we'll listen to like Tall Paul spinning, something or other. I made something up like that, just on the cuff.
Yeah.
They called me back, and I still remember, I said to him, why did you pick me? We filmed the pilot to do the TV series for the next series. I said, why did you pick me? Because like there's a room full of women that were all amazing and beautiful and had done TV, and I was like not even a no one really in this world. And he said to me, the reason we picked you is you were the only person that changed the script. Everyone else just read it verbatim, just as it was, really boringly, and no one could come up with something just off the cuff like that. Nobody knew anything about clubs. And I thought, oh, those years of clubbing have finally paid off.
You knew you were doing it for a good reason.
Those late night Saturday nights, I knew they'd pay off one day. But it just made me think like, oh, because I thought me not knowing something was a bad thing, but actually it ended up being the good thing, because I was different.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing what everyone else was doing. I wasn't trying to just sit in that mold like everyone else is doing. So I think the sort of learning there is that if you're doing something and you are different, that's a good thing. Cultivate that. Just be authentic and be yourself. The reason I got that TV job was because I was just being me. I didn't try and be what I thought the TV producer was looking for. I wasn't trying to be a presenter. I wasn't trying to get the part. I was just
You're
being
authentic.
Yeah. And I think that was a difference. And I think that's the same, like if you're doing something in your life, just be yourself. Because if you're not yourself, then what are you being?
Yeah.
You're playing a part, and that's not authentic, and it doesn't come across. So I thought, just be you, and they either love you or they don't. If they don't, no matter, someone else will.
Love it. Just be you, because everyone else is taken.
Yes, exactly. I love that. So I did that, did a TV series. I did that for a while, and then I ended up not stopping doing that because my TV producer tried to sleep with me, and I refused to sleep with him. The whole #MeToo thing that went on a couple of years ago, that didn't exist back then.
No.
And actually fired me. Like, I remember he sat me down in the office twice. I was only 23 at the time. He was in his 50s. And he tried to say to me, oh, you get lonely out on the road. Because we'd be filming on a Friday and Saturday night at clubs all around the country. And and it was long days, long nights. And he said, you get lonely on the road, And so he was trying to convince me, manipulate me into sleeping with him and being his girlfriend. I was 23. And I remember at the time sitting in his office in East London saying, oh, and ironically, the office was in a place called Perseverance Works. In this instance, it did not.
As far as he was concerned.
I remember saying, it's never going to happen. I'm never going to sleep with you. And literally, after I said that, the week later, I got fired. And he didn't even do it himself. He didn't have the balls to do it. He sent it to ITV, and I spoke to the executive. It was a man, because when you're an independent, you have to have an executive at the TV series. That's how it works in TV. So it was the ITV executive that I had to go and speak to. And when I explained what happened, he went, oh yeah, the previous girl. Yeah, she said that as well. Her name was Lisa. She did that, the previous presenter. And I just looked at him, and back then, women, you didn't really have a right as a woman back then. It was like, you didn't have the power, you were just a pretty girl on the screen.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter. You
They'll just get 100 more come through.
Yeah, so they replaced it with a blonde girl, a really pretty blonde girl. She did it for a bit, but then they lost the TV series as Karma because he was taking backhanders from the clubs or something, I heard, which was against the policy. But so Karma got him in the end, but it was just like, oh, so that sort of stopped my TV career, and that obviously knocked me quite a bit as well.
Mm-hmm.
Made me kind of you know, when you go through things like that, and that was a trauma in itself that kind of knocked me into wanting to do more TV work.
Mm-hmm.
It was like to think that the only way, like, you know, you've got no power, you've got no you know, you're not really you've got nothing really. It's not like to stand on. You're just replaceable. You're not important really,
and you're at the mercy of people whose intentions are not good.
Yeah, and back then, men very much had the power, and women really didn't.
Yeah,
thankfully things are a bit different now. They're changing for the better, thankfully. But back then, that really knocked me quite a lot. And it really put me off wanting to do TV work. But you know, so it sent me in a different direction. So I ended up going to South Africa to start modelling. Modelled out there. So I left the UK and went and used to do the circuit in Cape Town, and then come back here. So I travelled the world as a model for a while instead. So it really scared me and put me off doing TV work, which is really sad, because knowing what I know now as an adult, I would have just cleared out that trauma and then probably carried on.
Yeah,
I didn't, because it knocked me. And this is what we mean by traumas, like traumas being in your subconscious. I made something up in that moment. It's not safe. It's not safe to work in TV. It's not safe to work for a man. He's got power over me. It's not so. I made up all kind, you know, the stuff that was made up subconsciously that then drove me to avoid being in that scenario again, to keep me safe.
Yeah,
do TV again after that because it wasn't safe. You know, so it's interesting, isn't it? Like these things come along in your life, and like knowing now, I just clear it out. Like now, I'm fine. I've cleared that. I've cleared that trauma out. So if I wanted to do TV now, I'd be like absolutely fine with it. But I didn't know then that was like the subconscious thing. I was scared to do it. It just brought up immense fear, and that immense fear can show up as procrastination, shyness, not believing yourself, convincing yourself you don't want to do something. I convinced myself I didn't want to do TV anymore, TV presenting, but really I was afraid to do it because I was afraid if I did, I'd be abused and be safe, and I'd be treated that way again. And it's like, these are the things that go on in our lives that we, you know, we need to deal with. And if we're able to deal with it straight away, great. And if we're not, deal with it when you can.
When you can. But not dealing with it is life limiting.
It is limiting. It limited my whole career. I mean, I went off and did modelling and did something else, but I often sometimes think now, looking back, I wonder how different my life and career would have been had I continued, because I was, you know, given the option to go and do an audition for The Big Breakfast at the time, so they'd seen me on the TV. And I went off to Cape Town and modelled instead, and I think Kelly Brook, she stepped in and did it. It's when Johnny Bourne was on it, so it was that time, that era. So I never did that show. I didn't carry on or do any more TV work, but I sometimes think, God, I wonder how different my life would have been had I not have had that traumatic experience that blocks me from moving forward in that area. Yeah.
So it's no wonder that you do the wonderful work that you do to help other people to be able to let go of those traumas and start living the life that they want to live. Because it stops you, like it, you know, and it does.
Yeah, it does. And I don't want anyone to ever have to go through that kind of pain or fear that I went through, that kind of trauma, or hold on to it at least. That you can't stop it happening in your life, but what you do have the power to do is to clear it out and stop it preventing you from moving forward, to stop it dictating how your life's going to be. You have that power. You can't have any power over what the people around you and the environment's going to treat you and how things play out. You only have power on what you make up about it in that moment and how you deal with it, and if you choose to hold on to it or let it go. And you can't sometimes let it go if it's a trauma, because you don't know how to. We're not trained to. Less, well, I am now, but you know. But you need somebody that that can come in and help you to clear that out, so it doesn't
Definitely.
debilitate your life. I wish I'd have had somebody step in back then to do that, but then again, I wouldn't have learned what I know now had I not been through it. So maybe I went through it for a reason, so that I can help other women.
Helping so many people.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about the amazing radio show that you do, because this all feeds into that as well, doesn't it?
Yay! So now I present a radio show on WRS, women's radio station. It's called Eat, Love, Do. I call it that because it covers all the areas that I love. Eating, I love eating. No, eat is how you eat, and what you put in your body to, for your health and nutrition. Love is how you love yourself and others. So it's taking care of yourself and loving yourself and others. And do is what you do to have more health, wealth, and happiness in your life. So that can be from exercise, your vocation, self-care, what you choose to do for career, business, anything like do. There's a whole 360 life kind of view. And I chat to amazing guests every week. I absolutely love it. A bit like you're interviewing amazing guests every week. It's the same thing. I learn something new from every person I chat to, which I love. And it's a great platform for the guests, because they get to speak to a fab audience. And all my listeners, it's mainly women, they get to learn something from everyone that comes on. And my hope is that everyone who listens to the show learns something, grows in a new way, thinks about the world and themselves in a different way, and they transform a little bit each week and their life gets better. And that's the sort of ethos and hope of the show, really. That's why I do it. Spread a little love and happiness in the world. Yeah.
Love it, love it, love it. I think the theme, the title, the work that you do in it is amazing. It is just so necessary.
Yeah. I think it is. Having gone through what I've gone through in my life, there's a lot of stuff I'm going to in this one short interview. I'm going to put it all in a book actually one day. I've been through a lot in my life. I think that most people probably never go through in an entire lifetime. I think I went through more things up to the age of 18 that most people probably don't go in an entire lifetime, which I will put in the book actually. And I think the experiences in our lives, the things that we might think initially are the bad things that we're going through, and the traumatic things are actually the things that form us. And once we heal from that and push through them, I think the people that are out there creating the most love and leading the way in the world are the ones that have been through the most difficult experiences, and they've come through. And I don't know, maybe I think that some people are put on the planet to go through those things so that they can help lead and teach and inspire others to love themselves and take care of themselves and lead an amazing, happy life, and show you that there is a way and it's possible. Because we all go through hardships and we all go through things and face things, and we think that there's no way through it sometimes. But if you can see that someone else has been through something similar or worse and they've come through, I think that gives us all that hope and knowing that any of us can get through anything. If we surround ourselves with the people and things that will help us get there, you can get through anything.
Absolutely right.
I hope I'm going to help people do in my little lifetime on this planet. Right?
I am absolutely sure you are. So how do people find WRS?
So WRS is at womensradiostation.com, and their social medias is Women's Radio STN on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and his YouTube channel. So hit like and subscribe because we love it when you support us. Thank you. About that. And if they want to find me personally, I'm Janine Newberry on all my socials. Newberry spelled like strawberry, not the town. I'm new through to. And Eat, Love, Do as well. Eat, Love, Do. I think it's Eat, Love, Doers on Instagram. But if you just find me on Instagram, Janine Newberry, or Facebook, then I'm there.
Absolutely.
DM me if you want to chat.
There are so many people that you can help. So many people need to be seeing you and speaking to you. So what is coming next for you, Janine? What do people need to see coming next?
Well, I think so. I'm going to start doing group sessions. I know you do group training, don't you? Which is fantastic. I do. I love the one-on-one stuff. It's brilliant. I'll keep doing that. But that's limited because there's only so many hours that you can give each week to work with people. So I want to do more group stuff, more group training. So I'm trying to find a way that I can do that in a way that actually has transformation for the people in the group. Because when you're working and you're doing deep transformation stuff, you kind of need to work one-on-one with people because each person, each individual is different. So I'm trying to find a way I can structure that actually has that deep work. So what that space is coming up, but so I'll probably do some money block clearing sessions and things like that, because I think that's a big thing for people. That takes the stress off you. And yeah, so more group stuff, and maybe some a retreat. I think like maybe organise a retreat a couple of times a year would be nice. I'd like to start doing that. I write my book. I need to get my book written and get it out there. So that is one of my goals for this year, actually put that pen to paper and get that book in print so people can hold it and read it. That would be quite exciting.
That is going to be worth reading for sure, and exciting and inspiring.
Hopefully.
That's what we all want out of a
book.
book.
If it's not, just use it to prop up your table or something, you know.
It's going to be worth so much more than that. Janine, you've an amazing life so far and so much more to come. Can't wait to see more, and I'm going to be tuning in for WRS and looking forward to hearing those conversations.
You should come on. I should interview you. You can share.
I'm there.
Yeah, come on. I'll chat to you.
I'm there. Fab. Janine, thank you so much. Any final pearl of wisdom that you would like to leave with our listeners?
I think just dare to go and do what you want to do. Like you this is your life. This is it. It's not like a rehearsal. This is it. You've got to do it now. Who gives a toss what anyone else is thinking? Like literally, it's so normal. Who gives a toss what anyone else is thinking? Words of wisdom. but seriously, this is it. It's now. It's happening now. Just go for what you want to go for. Like if you're being held back, work with someone, me, Tracy, whoever, it doesn't matter who, but clear it out, the things that are holding you back. Work out what's really holding you back so that you can actually go and live that life that you want to live, because you deserve all the happiness, success, wealth, health, love, everything. And if you don't believe you do, then that's the work that you need to do to get there. But you just go for it. This is it. This is your life. You get, say if you live for 75 years, you only get 75 summers, 75 winters, 75 springs, 75 autumns. That's not a lot when you think about it, when you see it like that, right? What age are you at now? I'm 47 now. So I've had 47.
Yeah.
Maybe I've got another 47 left, maybe less, maybe more, who knows? But you've only got so many left. So how do you want to spend each of those summers, each of those springs, each of those winters?
Yeah.
How do you want to spend your life? What do you want to do? Who do you want to spend it with? Who do you want to be? Actually spend some time working that out. And then once you work that out, find a way to make it happen. And if you need help, ask for help. Just, what life do you actually want to live? Who do you want to be?
Definitely. You have the most lovely energy about you, Janine. Really do. I mean, who wouldn't want to work with you when they hear you, the way you talk, the energy you bring to it, the wisdom that you bring to it? You've lived there, you've done it, you've been through it. You know how to carry people through it on that journey, and just you're a joy to be around. People need to spend time with you and do this work.
They do, Tracy. They do.
They do. I think I'm right here. Fabulous. Janine, thank you so much for being a part of this with me today and for sharing your wisdom and your journey with our listeners. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for listening to me babble on.
It's been my pleasure. So thank you everybody for joining in, for listening to another episode of Limitless Potential, and we will be back next week with another lovely guest, another journey to share, and more limitless potential to inspire you on your own journey. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon. Bye.